Good afternoon, Scott Riley, the Market Update Desk, Friday, June 6th. We are officially back in the Cabana office. Finally, the weather's been actually pretty garbage in West Michigan, but we're very happy working from the Cabana office this afternoon. So get right into it. We had the BLS jobs report, and it was complete BS again. Let's kind of break down and look at the fundamental errors and the issues that are showing up within this report. So, the establishment's, the headline report showed 139,000 jobs created versus an initial estimate of 125. Not too bad on the face value of that, but we talked about these revisions that are going to be coming, and we got them. So March and April were revised downward a total of 95,000 jobs through two different revisions. That's staggering. Let's look at the totality of this. So in total, for the 2-month revisions for March, that took away 49,000 jobs. The 2-month revisions on April took away 108,000 jobs. That's just staggering. So the initial jobs reports for March and April gave us supposedly 405,000 jobs. Boy, did that, each time that came out, that took the Treasury market and kicked it in the teeth, and probably cost people on mortgages anywhere from 3/8 to 0.5% in their interest rate. Now that we're 2 months later, we've shown a total, really, jobs created of 248,000. That's 40% less than initial reported. I don't know what job you can have and be off 40% of what you're expected to do, of the numbers you're supposed to give. And keep in mind, the market is looking for this data to be correct, to have credibility, to know how to trade, to know what to do. That's 40% of the jobs that were never, ever, ever, ever created. To say it's frustrating is beyond words. In addition, we got the quarterly census on earnings and wages, QCEW, for Q4 of 2024. What did that tell us? It told us 500,000 jobs were never there. They were fake, not created. But it gets better. That's after the negative revisions that they had. So 500,000 jobs, in addition to what the revisions were, that were false, fake, and bogus. Kind of hard to really trade in the market when you can't trust the numbers that you got. Realistically, this has cost borrowers probably 0.5% on the mortgage. It's just interesting to see where all this comes from, and how far it's off. Nowhere can you be off on your numbers on a job and maintain your job if you do this. So we also saw in this month's BLS report that average hourly earnings increased 0.4 more than expected than the initial 0.3, and so we are now up year over year. Average hourly earnings are up 3.9%. The bond market didn't like this. It's showing wage pressure. The birth death model. This is our friend that tries to impute how many businesses are forming and failing every month. Now, to give you a perspective, ADP showed negative 13,000 jobs from this. The BLS, no. ADP can't be right. They're only looking at real data from employers. They said there are 199,000 jobs. We don't know how we're going to get how we get that 199, but we're going to tell you there's 199,000 jobs created. So this is a head scratcher. That's the establishment survey. The household survey showed that there were 696,000 jobs lost, not 139 created, 696,000 lost. The U3 unemployment, this is the headline, stayed at 4.2, although the non-rounded number was 4.24 inches from being shown at 4.3%. The U6, the all-in unemployment, was 7.8%. Now, on the establishment survey, where did these jobs come from? Healthcare grew by 62,000 jobs, leisure and hospitality by 40,000, and social assistance grew by 16,000 jobs. Um, Labor force participation, this is one of the reasons that we didn't see a change in unemployment because we had 690,000 jobs leave. The labor force participation dropped by over 623,000. It fell from 62.6 to 62.4. So that's why that labor participation offset the household survey uh, job creation or loss number. So very, very interesting. Now, in the household survey, of the 690,000 jobs that were lost, 623,000 were full time jobs. So we are again replacing full time jobs with part time jobs. That does not stabilize an economy having all this part-time jobs. So we also had Fed Speaker Michelle Bowman, who has not been our friend. Now remember, she's an economist, not an attorney. Got her job at a bank because it's mommy and daddy's bank. She's actually the VP of the Fed regulation oversight. One of the things Secretary Bessent has been talking about is lowering the supplemental level ratio to be able to let banks buy more treasuries, which will be important because the stockpile or available quantity inventory of treasuries continues to grow based on government spending. So what we found out in July, they're going to have a conference to talk about increasing the leverage ratio. That could help substantially with the 10-year treasury, which would then help mortgage-backed securities and mortgage rates. So next week's another important week. We get CPI and PPI. Today, the 10-year treasury is taking back all that we gained and then some. From Wednesday, we're up again over 4.5. We're at 4.507. Mortgage-backed securities are down a little over 32 basis points. We bounced right off the dual level of resistance on the 10-year treasury. We kind of thought it might happen. That's why we locked multiple different borrowers in and secured great rates for them. We'll keep on top of all this, but we're working all weekend. Give us a call. We'll help you get pre-approved, help with you getting your offer accepted. 616-293-2189. Enjoy the weekend. And once again, it is the Cabana office afternoon. Thanks so much. Have a great afternoon.